Dozens of people who lined up for COVID-19 testing at the Waves Resort on Padre Island this morning actually had to be turned away. This was the scene just after 9 this morning. We're told that some 400 tests would be conducted by the National Guard at that site today.